I'm like, get in the car.
Right.
He was like, get in the car, look down, pulled the shades down, and was like, I'm your dad.
Thank you for coming to Street Mothers. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How you doing, Tiff?
I'm doing fine. First, let's start with your name.
It is Angela Parker. On Facebook is Angela Samantha. Instagram is _Bunny Parker. Go tap in.
Okay. Well, yeah. See, she giving herself a shout out. She said, "Go tap in."
Go
All
tap
right.
in.
Do you got any businesses or anything that you do that you may want to promote?
I am currently working on a clothing brand.
Okay.
And writing a book.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I like to keep it a little secret.
Yeah.
Until it's finished.
That's right.
That's what I got going.
Okay. Well, whenever you get finished, let us know so we can promote it as well.
I sure will.
All right. So let's get off into your story.
Okay.
Now, first thing I want to know is, do you have children?
I do have children.
Okay.
I have 3 beautiful babies, Marley, Ace, and Breon.
Okay.
17, 8, and
17, 8, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, those are some interesting ages.
I know.
Okay, let's start with this 17-year-old.
Right.
That's the teen. That's the teen.
Yeah.
Okay. So how old were you when you first had your teen?
I had my oldest when I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah. Became a mom at 18. Young mom.
Okay. So how was that experience?
If I'm being honest, I think I lost my mind a little bit, but I think it was just a first time scenario. But it was good. It was good. The parts that I can remember, I dealt with postpartum a little bit.
Postpartum depression is a type of depression that happens after giving birth. Usually within the first few weeks to months, it can start at any time during the year.
Okay.
So I think I kind of blanked out a little bit in certain parts of it. But
so let's talk about that, because I don't think postpartum is talked about enough, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't even thinking about asking you about that.
Right.
But can you give me some of the symptoms of what you was thinking? I mean, what you were experiencing that made you realize that you were dealing with postpartum?
I believe it was just my forgetfulness of minor things like baby milk or things like that, because my mind was somewhere else. It was adapting at an early age with being a mom and not having a mom. Okay. So I was figuring it out on my own. I couldn't get out the bed. I was doing a lot of things to distract me from the fact that I had a child.
I'm going to give you a quick summary of signs to look for. If you want to dive deeper, just check it out yourself by pausing the video. You can feel sad, hopelessness, empty most of the time, have trouble bonding with your baby, anxiety, loss of appetite, and more.
Mm-hmm. So, smoking, drinking, chilling, stuff like that.
Did you deal with any depression?
Very depressed. I think the depression led to the overly smoking, the overly drinking, the laziness, the forgetfulness. Yeah. Okay. I deal with depression real heavy. But depression is genetic in my family. So
okay.
Yeah.
Did you think anybody else noticed when you were going through this postpartum?
Nah, I think I carried it pretty well.
Okay.
I don't think I realized I was in postpartum until I came out of postpartum and I learned what it was. Oh. And then when I read about it, I was like, wow, that makes sense. Nobody around me, I think, even knew what postpartum was. Once again, I was a young mother with no mother, and my dad was just a boy. He wouldn't understand postpartum. I don't think he was into that type of stuff. So I think he knew I was depressed. He gave me extra help and motivation throughout the time. He was a constant, everyday figure with me and my daughter. I do believe he pulled me out of the depression. Okay. Honestly, without knowing that I was going through it.
People go through it, but they don't realize that they're in it, especially young mothers.
Right.
And some of it can result to
harm.
You know, that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I didn't experience that, but I have heard people say that, even jokingly, I'll do something to this baby or something like this. So I've heard people go to the extreme of it. I feel like I was in the mild of it because I had a constant figure, which was my dad. But yeah.
Okay. So you said that you had no mom. Can you touch on that subject for a bit?
Yeah, I grew up at my grandmother's house. I'm like a 90s baby. I was born in 89, so 90s they were all like doing their thing or whatever. So I was a grandma baby, pretty much at home. My mother was of the world.
Oh, so she was she was alive. She just wasn't around.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So and I don't know if you want to go deeper into that or not, but
Well, I was told it was a drug addiction, but I never saw her on drugs.
okay.
Yeah.
So do y'all have a relationship now?
We formed a relationship. I was always like a fan of hers. I always thought she was great. We formed a relationship over the years, and she passed away last
Okay. Well, condolences to you and sorry
year.
to hear that. Sorry for your loss. Okay, so your dad was always around.
Well, I met him when I was 17.
Oh, you
Yeah.
met your dad when you were 17.
Yeah, I thought somebody else was my dad.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so this other man that you thought was your dad, that was who you were talking about that was around, or your real father?
My real father came in at 17. I got pregnant at 18.
Yeah,
But
you right.
beforehand,
Okay, I got you.
I was under
Yeah.
the impression somebody else was my father. Yeah.
Okay. So take me through that experience of finding out that he wasn't. How was
Well,
that?
I feel like I always knew he wasn't my father.
What?
Yeah, I feel like I always knew. Some things you just know. Like if
Wow.
I could just look at him and tell there weren't any physical things that stood out to me that I had of his. I could tell by the energy we exchanged. I'm a joking type of person, and he was like very, I don't want to say mean, but stern. Didn't have a good sense of humor. I could just, as a young girl, I could just feel that he wasn't my father.
So how did it, the day that you found out that he really wasn't? What was that day like?
Confirmation. It was confirmation of what I had already knew, and it wasn't like he was a present figure for me to miss him. So it was just like, write you off real quick.
Who told you?
My cousins. You know, it's always family. Gonna break it down for you.
Okay.
So it was a couple of my cousins pulled me to the side and just was like,
that ain't your daddy.
That ain't your daddy. Yeah, that's not your daddy, girl. Stop that.
Okay, so let's start. Well, let's go back to then when you actually met your real father.
Right.
How was that experience?
Well, leading up to it, I started having visions, dreams that I was gonna meet my father. Okay. And I had an innate feeling inside of me that something was going to happen. I could just, after they told me that they knew this guy wasn't my dad and they knew my real dad, I started to have dreams of meeting my dad. And one day I was walking down the street, headed to the store to get some cigars. Was gonna send one of my little crackhead friends in the neighborhood to go get me a cigar and buy them a beer for doing me justice. Yeah. And I stopped. My homeboy stopped me and told me to pull up on him, come around there. As my homeboy pulled off, a Dodge Charger on some 22-inch rims pulled up. And the people in the car asked me, did I know somebody named Angie? And so, I'm like a hood girl, I guess. So I was like, yeah, I know Angie. Who looking for her? And they like, do you know her? Where's she at? And so I'm like, I know her. Who is y'all? Do you know her and where she at? So I say, I'm Angie. And the two gentlemen in the car, my daddy and my now goddaddy, both were like, what? And so my dad was like, get in the car. Right. I'm like, get in the car? Right. He was like, get in the car, look down, pulled his shades down and was like, I'm your dad. And I was like, what? So I got in the car. He drove me around to the store. They asked me what I was going to the store for, and I told him. And he took them glasses off. He turned around and looked at me. He said, "Let me see your hands." So I showed him my hands. He was like me, looking for something of himself. And so I showed him my hands. He was like, "You got my fingertips."
But you know what? Sometimes it be the smallest thing.
Right.
Because I pick out babies good, too.
Do you?
I pick out babies good. People be calling me like, okay, so my friend, now this girl said this my son, baby. What you think? I'm like, yeah, that's his. Or nah, that
Yeah, nah. Yeah.
But I pick them out. If they look like them, I'm gonna keep it real.
I feel like my grandma had that too, because the person that was supposed to be my dad, she never let me go nowhere with him. It was like a monitored visitation. You know what I'm saying? But when my dad, my real dad, showed up, it was almost like she pushed me out the door. It was because she raised me from baby up until 17. So right. I figured she just looked at him and was like, yeah.
That ain't your dang on.
Like, yeah. So when she met my real dad, she just like was like, yeah. I feel like she just looked at him and could see the similarities. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's how I met him.
So what was it like when your mom passed with her not raising you, you know?
Well, my grandmother was her mother. So my grandmother just raised me differently. From an early age, I questioned where was my parents. Once I realized she wasn't my mother, and she took me to a scripture called, I can't remember the scripture, but it was, when your mother and father forsake you, God takes you. And so she constantly enforced that I was a blessed child. And she constantly reminded me I had to honor my mother and my father. Okay. Not their decisions. Okay. Not their decisions, just their position in my life. So even though my mother was absent on a lot of things, I never harbored resentment or anger. And I think that's a blessing, because a lot of people miss out on opportunities because of anger and resentment and not being able to forgive or look at things from a different point of view. And so even though I feel like I missed out, I didn't miss out, because at grandma's house, it was Easter, it was Christmas, it was birthday parties, it was, I didn't miss too much of nothing. It was church every day. Right. I didn't miss nothing, which allowed me not to be angry. I didn't suffer through my life as a child.
And it was probably a little bit easier too, because that was your mother's mother, know, and not your mother's dad, or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's we tend to be closer to our mother's side
of the family. Yeah, right.
Even if they're still together, most of the time,
it's always the mama side.
Yeah. In my daughter's case, though, my youngest daughter, she's closer to her dad's side. Okay. But that's because now all of my people are older and grown or don't live in Arkansas.
Right. Right.
But okay, so let's get back to your children. So back to your teen, and I keep bringing up the teen because I know the teens be the ones. Whew, Lord. It's hard raising teens.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so are you married, single, or what are you?
I'm taken.
Okay. Okay, that's
I'm not gonna say anything other than taken. Yeah, I'm taken. Might get cussed out.
Okay, so with you having a team and you having your own thing going, is it a boy or girl? It's a girl, right?
It's a girl.
Okay, so what do she be getting into? Do she get into anything, like, without going too far into her personal business? Do she get into things like sneaking out or parties or drugs or
I say we have dibbled and dabbled with a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I say,
which is actually common.
It's coming. It's coming, especially when children deal with peer pressure, and sometimes it's not what's going on in your household, it's what's going on in the next person's household that they done found their way over to. But yeah, we've been through a lot now that we're at 17. But I'm just thankful that my life experiences gave me the wisdom to be able to guide her through.
And I was about to ask you that, how
Yeah.
do you deal with the tough time?
Oh, baby, I go back to what I used to do when I was a kid and what I needed to be there for me. You know what I'm saying? So what I didn't receive is what I give.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's the constant reassurance that I'm here, I'm present, I'm not blocking you out, I'm very aware of what's going on. I'm here to process what's going on and help you process it. I'm never mad to the point to where I can't
talk to you
or love you. I can love you through anything. You just got to let me know what we doing, what we're going through. So that was the biggest thing dealing with a teenager that I learned was that you don't stop talking to them. You know what I'm saying?
Turn purple. You talking to you.
Even when you think they not listening.
Even when they're not listening.
Even when you know they not listening.
Right.
You continue to talk to them.
That's right.
Because a lot of things that I said to her while she was going through what she was going through, she now come back now that she's on the other side of it, and she like, Mama, you was right.
And she gonna appreciate that when she get older.
Right.
You know, when she get grown and she really go into adulthood and start having her own children. Because if you think about it, even with your grandmother raising you, you still did something that you rebelled, that you snuck and did that your grandmother didn't know. Like, and the things that you decided to do,
right.
You know, when you think back, you think like, damn, grandma tried to tell me, or mama tried to tell me I shouldn't have did that, and I didn't listen.
Absolutely.
So
I go back to so many times, but what stick out the most is me and my grandma standing in that kitchen going back and forth, which I was wrong for doing. Never go back and forth with no adult.
Okay.
But she looked at me and she pointed. She said, "Joe, you giving me hell right now, but your child gonna give you 10 times worse than what you giving me." And that statement stuck out because I think I got 10 times worse than what I gave her. Yeah, I think I did.
Well, you know, that statement is actually true. But what's so crazy in my case, none of my kids. Now my kids do they stuff.
Right.
But when I tell you none of them I was terrible. When I think about the stuff
they ain't got nothing on you.
Oh, baby, no. Like
they ain't got
my son, he was on house arrest. He was a good one. He stayed on house arrest 18 months. He chilled. Baby, I cut mine out. It was just like I was turned up to the max, and I thank God and it might be because I be on them. I be on them.
Right.
I be on them because I know how much freedom. But it wasn't that my mama wasn't watching. When my mom had work, she worked 2 jobs.
Right.
And baby, I partied.
Well, see, my grandma, she kept me in the house. And most people, now that I'm older, I know that was the right thing to do.
Right.
But when you younger and you missing out on going to spend the night at people's house and you not going to the skating rink like everybody going, you feel like you missing out on something.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Because this is what I always thought. And I did just interrupt you because I don't want us to forget this part right here. The ones that could never do nothing was always the sneaky one. Do you agree or you disagree?
I agree. Because we so intrigued with what is going on. You know, and I grew up in a neighborhood, North Little Rock, North Side, 2200 Washington Avenue.
Okay.
And so I'm seeing all this go on around me. And you want me to go to church every Sunday? Every Sunday. And then not just Sunday. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm at the shut-off. I'm at the sick and shut-in house. I'm with the missionaries. Like, what is going on? So when I got to a certain age, I say 13, one day she asked me, you going to church? And it was like, oh, I got an option? No, I ain't going today. And then the option of not going became me having access to doing what I thought I wanted to do, which was, as they call it now, jumping off the porch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to jump on off the porch and see what was going on.
Okay. So now we at that point.
Right.
When you finally did get out and get the experience and things, would you say you resorted more to the street side of jumping off the porch, or you just still was chilling, you just was out doing stuff?
I say that I was the person that you knew did not belong here. You know how it's always that one person like, everybody like, what you doing here? Like, that was me. So I always got hit with the, why you not at school, all those type of things. But I was more into not being in the streets. I just wanted to be where it was kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Like, where they chilling, you know? Maybe somebody, mama don't care if we done snuck some weed in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it wasn't more so about the streets. It was more so about being around people. But the people that I was choosing to be around had street stuff going on.
Okay, so with you doing that, what would you say was like your worst thing that you did as a teen that your grandmother didn't know about?
The worst thing, I really didn't do nothing as a teenager. Like,
oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, I didn't really do too much. You know, I dropped out of school. I will say that. I dropped out of school. I was so caught up in what I had going on. I guess in my mind, I was going to be trap queen of
what?
the North. You know what I'm saying? I was dealing with certain guys, and, you know, they had certain things going on. And I could make a phone call from school and get picked up and, you know, leave the premises. And then I just completely stopped going for no reason at all. My mind wasn't there. I was somewhere else.
Okay, well, we speaking of, since you brought up that about trapping, I want to get into that because you also brought up the fact that it was, you know, dealing with dudes.
Right.
How did you get into, when you say trapping, what do you mean? Let's start there first.
You know, trap houses, moving, the good stuff.
Okay, and then when you were doing that, these would be your houses. Did you catch any charges from them?
No, ma'am. Press ham. So if I ran into a gentleman, 9 times out of 10, he already was established in what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I came along as the little cute little new little girlfriend type stuff. Okay. Never put houses in my name. Never stayed physically at a trap house to my knowledge, because sometimes you can be in a house and don't know what's going on. And I was in some of those scenarios too.
Okay, so when you're saying trap queen, then you had your own thing going on?
I dibbled and dabbled.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know how to
maneuver.
I know how to maneuver.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. But I'm smart enough to know that's not my lane.
Yeah.
But I like gentlemen that participate.
Wait a minute. Okay, so
I'm working on that, Tiff. I'm working on it.
You knew I was about. You knew I was about to say, wait a minute now. Okay.
I'm working.
Okay, well, that's good. We as long as you working
I'm working on it.
Okay. So tell me what you doing, like, you know, now. Like, what is life like? You had these children. You got a 17-year-old that's getting grown, but you still got these other ones that's coming up. So, what is it like being a parent of 3 and you're not married?
Being a single mother is probably one of God's greatest gifts to me. It realigned my life. It gave me a sense of stillness, peace, direction, discipline, purpose, you know.
Okay.
Regardless of if I have a partner or not, it's hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, if you know, it's cool. I really enjoy it. It stopped me from dating a lot, you know. It stopped that because I didn't grow up in a household where I saw a woman constantly dating. My grandmother wasn't married, and she wasn't having men in and out the house. So that's how I prefer to live my life for a while, especially with a daughter in the home. I just can't imagine her seeing me date multiple men and having them come in and out. So it put a style on my dating. Then when you have boys, they think the highest of you. You know, you like a queen to them. So they don't want to see no man.
They definitely
they don't want to see a man. So over the years, I just been, for the last 5 years, I really just been chilling. It's just been me and them. and it's been great.
Okay, well that's good. So okay, so what you do for work? How did you support them as a single mother coming up? And I know you said you dip and dabble, but I'm saying like, did you work?
I've always worked.
Okay.
That's been a consistent for me. Like, I might take a little while off or something like that, but working is how I get my money. I like to get my money an honest way.
Okay.
For their sake. You know what I'm saying? For a little bit, I started to dibble and dabble in the new little things of scamming and stuff like that. But I'm just on a different journey in my life right now. Like, God has been very present in my life. So a lot of things that I used to do, I just can't do no more. You know what I'm saying? The hustle in me wanted to do what I saw was getting quick money, but the God in me has just been like, baby, take your time.
Yeah, because, you know, the fast money is cute until you sitting behind them bars.
Right. And fortunately for me, God just kept me covered. I just never experienced it. But some of us, we have to experience it in order to understand God is present. Also, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you done did some time. And, you know, you done seen some things. But I feel like God is working through you, through your platform, which you using your creative mind to make your money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is what I want to ask you too about your dad. So, you know, with him coming around, like, was he involved in the streets or anything?
My dad is a square. He is a Marine veteran.
Is good.
Yeah, my dad is a Marine veteran.
And he was in the mix though, baby.
Yeah, he was in the mix now. He likes to say, he had two older brothers, or an older brother and a younger brother, and they were pretty well known around Little Rock.
Okay.
And he, based off of their reputation, he didn't really have to do too much. You know, he say, want to take it, want to steal it, and he just let you give it to him.
I wonder how did him and your mama cross paths?
From what he say, he was in the club one night.
From
what he say, he was in the club one night and she had on like this see-through dress, and he was like, well, "Who is that?" And it became a thing. And it became a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do want to tell you, I appreciate your story. You know, like I said, every story is a lesson.
Right.
Whether we think it is or we don't, it's something that someone can take, you know, something out of this.
Absolutely.
And learn.
And I want to thank you for having me on this platform, because for a second I just was like, don't qualify to be on the show. But one thing we have to understand is, even when we feel unqualified, we are qualified.
That's right.
Because God says so.
That's right.
So I came. It was an honor to finally meet you. It's an honor to sit down. I just want to encourage everybody to stay encouraged.
Yeah.
And love on God, because He loves you.
Okay, that is a good, powerful message. Now, I want to ask you a message. What do you got for these teens that are coming up? Mothers that are raising these teen daughters.
Mothers raising teen daughters. Like I said, never stop talking.
Okay.
Realize that what you went through was the playbook on what they're going to go through.
Okay.
And you deny them so much wisdom and so much knowledge when you don't pass it down. We got to start passing it down. A lot of us have traumatic stories. A lot of us are ashamed of what we've been through. But when you look at your child, if you don't feel convicted to tell them, hey, I've been there, I've done that. Matter of fact, I got a story for you. I wrote a book about it. If you don't do that, then I feel like it's a lack of love there. And we might have to re-examine it. I go by this. A lack of discipline is a lack of love. Anything you love, you gonna discipline.
That's right.
And so discipline ain't always putting your hands on your child. Discipline can come from your words as well. You know? And we got to start teaching our babies about God.
That's right.
And not making it associated with church, helping them to understand that it's a real connection. It's real. And if you give yourself time, and if you learn to talk to God, God will talk back to you. And you just got to be open yourself up to it. Yeah. Because God told me to tell you something. I might tell you off camera. I might tell you off camera.
I'm definitely going to listen to. Okay, well, with that being said, I want to thank you for coming to Street Mothers again, and see y'all soon. Peace.